Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sports Dungeon. I'm your host, Lauren Tepper. As you guys can see, a guy who's been on this show numerous times. We're talking Brandon Burlsworth football camp. Marty, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Lauren. We're looking forward to some football camps again.
It is here.
It is here.
Let's talk a little bit first. I want to talk about the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about where we were a year ago and where you plan to be in a year from now. Okay. We started 2 years ago. You started about your NCAA award that's been given to a Division I football player who's made an impact on their team, who started as a walk-on, earned a scholarship, and made a huge difference. And that award was in its second year this year. And now let's talk about that first.
Okay. Yeah, that's the Burlsworth Trophy, and it goes to the nation's outstanding player who began their career as a walk-on. And we just finished our second year. We will be presenting that award in Springdale, December 3rd this year, and we're really expecting another great class. Had a tremendous group of nominees last year, tremendous group of nominees the first year. But it's a character award, but it's not a character award. Character is important in this award, as it is for all the national awards, whether that be the Heisman or the Doak Walker, whatever it is. But it is a performance-based award, which means you've got to be on the field, you got to be a player.
Right.
It's not a type of award where I made the team, as a walk-on, I made the team. Well, those guys, that's great too, to make the team, but they're not nominated for this award. So we have schools across the nation, just like this last year. Houston had a finalist. Stanford had a finalist. And then our winner was from Southern Miss, who was Austin Davis, who broke all of Brett Favre's passing records at that school.
As a walk-on.
And
that's what people got to understand. A walk-on means there's no athletic money available. They're working everything off of academics or their Pell Grant, or they're paying their own way.
That's exactly right. And sometimes that's, as in the case of Griff Whalen from Stanford, out in California. He's from Ohio. That's out-of-state tuition.
Out-of-state tuition.
That's right.
At Stanford.
At Stanford. We're
not talking about.
Oh, man.
I'm not sliding North Ark, but when you're paying $77 a credit hour versus paying $500 a credit. Yeah, it's unbelievable what we're doing. All right, let's talk a little bit too. The award has been a great thing. It's getting a lot more national attention now.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about your Eyes for a Champion.
Eyes of a Champion program. Yeah, our Eyes of a Champion program is really one of our very best programs. This is a program, we do it in Harrison, we do it in Searcy, we do it in El Dorado, we do it in Fayetteville, we do it all over the state of Arkansas. And this is through cooperation with Walmart Optical and Sam's Optical. And this is where children are provided the opportunity to have eye exam and glasses for kids that don't qualify for like our kids or Medicaid.
And there's a ton of people who fall in that category
absolutely.
Who make $1 more or $10 more than can't qualify for Medicaid or our kids for their children, and really can't afford to go spend $80 for an eye exam, and then you throw on some frames and a cheap pair of frames and glass. And I'm not saying cheap to sound mean, but you could be out $150 by the time you get some lenses. A kid breaks them. Kids are tough on them. All of a sudden, you're in something that you just can't afford. And when you're talking about glasses for a child or food on the table, the food's going to win, but the eyeglasses are important too. Exactly. Now you're expanding that to the SEC.
Yes, we're working right now currently with Walmart on that expansion. That's not happened just yet. We're working through that process. We hope to have that done very soon. But we want to do it right when we roll that out. But the thing is, this is for families that are trying to make it on their own. They're not looking to try to be on any programs. Nothing wrong with those programs. People need them. I'm
not saying that. I'm just saying is that there's a huge gap of people.
Oh yeah, there is. And we give out 1,000 pair of glasses a year around the state of Arkansas. So the program's really utilized. It's a tremendous program. We get a lot of cards and thank yous and testimonials from school nurses and counselors. That is how the program's conducted, through school nurses and school counselors around the state. A parent can't access the website. It's all on a database, but those they send a form home, parent fills it out, bring it back to school nurse. We get approval on that. They have that certificate instantly. They're able to go to their local or the nearest Walmart Optical Center or independent optometrist that is participating in the program, and make that happen where that kid can succeed in the classroom. That's what's important.
And that's ultimately the mission of the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation.
Exactly.
is the kids program. And leading up to that, we talk about, people don't really understand all the things that Brandon Burlsworth does. I mean, people remember Brandon. I mean, it's hard to believe we're talking 13 years ago.
13 years.
Of when he untimely death. I mean, it was just a tragic situation. But we're trying to live on what his ambitions in life were.
Right.
And that's really the key here. It's not about what Marty wants to do or your mom wants to do or whatever. It's about what Brandon's vision was 15 years ago when he was in college, and that's what you're living on today. Is just taking what he wanted to do and keep it going in his honor.
Exactly.
And one of his things now is the football camp. That he comes back to the kids and gets to bring some back, a touching relationship between the Razorbacks, former Razorbacks, and the community.
Right, exactly. And these camps, just like the Burles Kids program, where we bring kids to Razorback games and Indianapolis Colts games, these camps are something Brandon had intended to do, and all we did was continue that, after his passing, and got these camps going. This is our 11th year on the camps, and former teammates, other players that played before Brandon at the University of Arkansas, players that have just graduated. We usually have a couple of new players every year, but we like to keep those guys that have been in, with us from the very beginning coming back. But it's a great thing. It just says a lot about these guys that they sacrifice their time to be here.
And let's talk. And real quick, I mean, my son took a tour of the stadium, Razorback Stadium, and they went in the locker room a couple weeks ago, and Brandon's locker's still there. The Razorbacks, keep that tradition alive and the memory of what he did. And these people who spend 5 years, these players, 5 years, see his locker, they talk about his legacy, talk about what his ambitions was, his character, and it makes these former players, and they have to be former players to be able to do that. And I don't want to get into why that's the case, but they're all former players, and they come and they want to give back a little bit to the community.
Exactly. And I mean, they've got things to do just like we all do, but they will sacrifice a Friday and a Saturday every year to come out and be with these kids. They have a great time. Now, don't think they don't. They love doing it, and it gets pretty competitive out there. I can tell you that at the football camp. In our last half of camp, we'll do 7-on-7 competitions, and it comes back out in them. It does.
Well, let's talk about it. It's Friday, June 1st. It's going to be kind of around the corner. Typically, I know that it's hard to plan these dates, but this date would have typically been like that last week of school. Kids would have been able to do it. So kids are getting out of school early in this community because of the fact that we had no really bad weather.
Kind of different this year.
But you plan it so you do it when school lets out here and in Little Rock. You do it on a Friday here and Saturday down in Little Rock.
Right. Yep. We do it at FS Garrison Stadium here, which is has been. We used to do it on the creek. We've done it at the sports complex, but the Cash Center gives us a great, avenue to, if we have some inclement weather and it rains, move inside. But we use all that complex out there. We'll use the stadium, we'll use the Cash Center but we'll have a bunch of kids out there, and we'll be spread out good. And they'll be getting a lot of good. It's a good camp to learn football, but it's also just maybe kids that aren't as serious about football but want to come out and be with these guys and have some fun. It's a really good activity.
Well, and here it's a true living Razorback, and I'm saying that in the context of saying that what they see is a television football team. They see a player in a uniform, and because there's no professional team in the state, they cheer for the Razorbacks. I mean, that's what they associate with.
Right.
They associate everything to the Razorbacks, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever. That's what you aspire is the Razorbacks.
Sure.
So now you're taking something that's a living, something that they can actually see on TV, and now they're bringing it to real life, and they're actually getting to interact with these players and see that they're truly human beings. They have a heart.
Just regular guys and just have and I mean, you've been out there, you've seen
Yes.
how they work with those kids.
Oh, it's been great watching them do
time. They have a great time with it, and the kids certainly learn a lot. But it's just a fun time. It'll wear you out by the time we're finished. I mean, we are pooped for sure. I mean, but it's a great time, and the Razorback players just have a tremendous time working with the kids.
Well, let's take a short break. We come back. We're going to show some pictures of what camp was the last couple of years and last year here at the FS Garrison Stadium down in Little Rock. We'll do that when we come right back. We'll be right back.